Okay, we are going to go ahead and get started. Thank you all for joining us here today for a webinar concerning data exchange, machine monitoring. We do one of these webinars on a monthly basis where we talk about some sort of data exchange, machine monitoring related topic. The topic for this month's webinar is optimizing operations, deployments, security, and how data exchange fits into your environment. And what I always like doing first is just kind of giving a rundown of what we're going to be discussing this morning. So what we're going to be discussing first is the main two data exchange applications, as well as the licensing levels and their provisions for data exchange. We are also going to be discussing deployment offerings and the security features for data exchange, as well as management inside of data display. And then finally, I will be ending this webinar with a demonstration of our newest data exchange release, which should be coming out sometime next week. I kind of briefly glossed over it in our webinar last month. Now, for those of you that are new, there's going to be things that I have covered previously in other webinars or touched base with on the previous one that I will be going into further detail for this morning's webinar. And you can also find these previous webinars on our Scytec.com page, as well as our YouTube channel. There is a specific playlist for all of our previous webinars. So first, I'm going to be going over the data exchange applications, their uses, and differences. So there are two main data exchange applications, the first being data display, which is our browser-based reporting tool. This is going to be used by the majority of your shop floor personnel. And if you look over there on the right hand side of the screen, you can see a phone with our real-time equipment view on it, and then also a TV next to that with an RTV real-time viewer chart on there as well. So data display is our browser-based reporting tool. You can get this on any iOS or Android-enabled device or anything with a browser on it. So that could be a PC, a laptop, an iPhone, an Android phone, or you can have a little mini PC that would plug into a TV like you see there that is hung from a shop floor ceiling out on a tripod on your shop floor or in like a break room where people can see all of the real-time machine statuses as they transpire. Now, as well, we also have a desktop application that is more meant for configuration and setup. And the person that's going to be doing your implementation on your shop floor for data exchange is going to be the one that primarily uses this and not so much the other employment levels. The next of the two main applications that I'm going to be discussing is our ODI, the Operator Data Interface. And this is available on the silver licensing levels and above. And this really kind of turns our data exchange machine monitoring platform into not just a machine monitoring platform, but also a communications one as well. As with the operator data interface, you're going to be able to get operator feedback for specific unknown and unplanned downtimes that you're just not going to be able to automatically collect from a machine. So that could be something, like an operator goes on a lunch break or something like that. That would be a planned downtime, and then a part breaks or something like that, a carbide on your machine breaks. That would be an unplanned downtime that your operator would have to put that in via this little tablet application, and that these can be put inside, a cell where one operator is working on multiple different machines, can be using this tablet to kind of provide more detailed information for your machine statuses, so that your OEE information isn't skewed by just what is getting pulled off automatically. So where can you find all this stuff? There's two different options that you have. For data display, you can go to our main Scytec.com website, and there's a tab at the top of the screen titled Getting Data Exchange. There is an option at the bottom of that says Data Display. That'll take you right to the Data Display login section. And primarily, we advocate for you to use the dx.com website, which is a landing page that'll take you to the data display login, as well as installations for the mobile applications for data display, as well as ODI, and an installation for the desktop configuration application as well. Next up, I'm going to be discussing the licensing levels for DataXchange. Now, if you go to Scytec.com, compare licensing levels, you can see a full breakdown of everything that is included on each licensing level. We also have a specific webinar about this as well. But at Scytec, we advocate that you start off with our bronze licensing level, and then our little motto here is growing with your collected data. So you start off kind of simply and then go from there. We have 4 different licensing levels, including bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. And starting off with bronze, the bronze licensing level contains functionality relating to collecting cycle information. Multiple types of cycle times are included in the bronze level, along with all reporting and real-time viewing. All the non-running time is categorized as unknown downtime in the bronze licensing level, and I'll detail a little bit more about how that differentiates on the different licensing levels coming up in just a second. But one of the other things that I'm going to be covering in each of these licensing levels is the data that is collected as well as the use cases. So the data that is collected on this bronze licensing level is the automatic cycle statuses, feed rate, and rapid overrides. And then this bronze licensing level is very good for those looking to start off with their smart manufacturing technology journey. You're new to machine monitoring. You want to kind of get all this proven out first. You are looking to implement it, have everybody kind of integrate it into their daily routine so that they're using DataXchange to see, how their productivity is going along. And then once you have this implemented, into your daily routine, you're using DataXchange on your Gemba walks and your production meetings every morning. Then you can move up with some of the higher licensing levels. And that's what we, as I said, we have a motto here. It's called growing with your data as you collect it. So after you kind of implemented DataXchange, or you just want to start off right away with a higher licensing level, we have our silver licensing level. And the silver licensing level adds functionality to categorize the non-running time into unplanned and planned downtimes. Now, as I said before, on the bronze licensing level, that is just as it's categorized as unknown downtime. With the silver licensing levels, you can have that downtime categorized into unplanned and planned downtimes. And I gave a kind of example of that with, we'll say, a broken carbide or something like that. That would be an unplanned downtime because that wasn't something that you had planned on. But a planned downtime would be something more like a machine setup. As well as that stuff that you can get on the silver licensing level, you also have the operator input ODI for entering downtimes, as well as automatic entry of scheduled breaks. Silver licensing level also contains the email and text notification feature set inside of Scytec DataXchange. Now, the data that is collected in this silver licensing level, as I said, is everything that was included in bronze, plus what you can get with the ODI application as well. And this can be good for manufacturers that are looking to get more detailed feedback from their shop floor personnel. They want to get alerts and instant notifications on their shop floor statuses. And this can empower your shop floor operators to be more successful at their job. As you can see, kind of like a more granular detail on what's going on with your operators working inside of a cell or something like that. Next up, I'm going to be discussing the gold licensing level, and the gold license level adds the tracking of part-related information such as program and part numbers, good and scrap part counts, alarms and their alarm details, as well as care and engineering TMAC status. The gold licensing level also includes the ability to define ideal cycle times and the ability to calculate and display OEE charts in the real-time viewer, the RTV charts, for those of you that may be aware of those. Now, the data that is collected in there is, in the gold licensing level, is alarm details, part numbers, good and scrap part counts, ideal cycle times for parts, ideal setup times for your shop floor equipment, OEE charts, and care and TMAC status. And this is going to be a good fit for those looking to track OEE, your part counts, work orders, alarm details, and you can also get some special scripting in C# for integration with your ERP system, a local database, or custom-built machines. Finally, I'd like to discuss our platinum licensing level, and this is a little bit less common, but this is we're starting to add some more features inside of this Platinum licensing level, mainly our CNC Machine Connect, which for those of you who are unaware is the integration between what was Vericut or CG Tech Vericut up until last year is now just Vericut and DataXchange. And CNC Machine Connect, it utilizes the real-time analytics that is pulled off of DataXchange and then gives those to Vericut, promising to give manufacturers the best digital twin models out there that are the most accurate. We also have DXIQ. This is a newer feature, which is the high-speed CNC data analytics that is provided by DataXchange. And a good use case for those of you who are looking for Platinum, or those of you who are working in the aerospace industry, automotive, etc., that utilize Vericut and want to get the best and most accurate digital twins available. Now, something else you can find out on our Scytec.com website, this kind of separates us from some of our competitors, is that we're very transparent here at Scytec with our DataXchange pricing. You can find out all of this online. There's no minimums. You can do 2-year, 1-year, month-to-month terms. You can also see an ROI calculator where you can enter in the amount of machines that you're looking to purchase and see how long that is going to take to get that return on investment for a DataXchange. You can find out all that information on our Scytec.com/pricing webpage. Next up, I'm going to be discussing the deployment types and which one is right for you. Now, last month, in our webinar, I discussed how Scytec DataXchange collects information off of your machines and where it then stores that. This deployment type plays right into where the information that's collected off of your machines is stored. And if you remember last month, I talked about with our deployment solutions, you can move from one to another. So you can start out on premise and then move to one of our cloud offerings and then vice versa. So we have 3 main deployment types. We have our cloud, secure cloud, and our on-premise solution, all 3 of which are ITAR compliant options. The most common is our commercial cloud offering, which offers low overhead, low cost. It is the easiest to get started for trials. No hardware is required. For those of you that have newer machine controls that have Ethernet ports on them, which can include things like the FANUC 0 and 31i series, the Akuma OSP 300 and 500, the entire Mazak Smooth lineup. Those are just a few of the control types that are supported very easily. And we have people that are up in collecting information in under a half an hour with our commercial cloud offering. Next up, we have our secure cloud, which is very similar to our commercial cloud offering. The secure cloud, however, is hosted on AWS GovCloud. The data is encrypted at all stages of rest and motion. And then finally, we have our on-premise solution. And the on-premise solution is good for manufacturers who have IT departments that are requiring an air gap so that nothing leaves your facility. It's basically like outright buying DataXchange, and the only thing outside of the upfront costs is maintenance costs that are done yearly. And the only other thing that kind of separates the on-premise solution from our cloud solutions is that you need to have a company-owned web and SQL server that is built out on your shop floor, as that's where all of your information is going to be stored that is collected from your shop floor equipment. So something else I'd like to touch base with on our kind of deployment solution types is that the security is the same across any of the different licensing levels. So bronze, silver, gold, platinum. You have SSL encryption on all of those. And then you can also do some kind of company-wide menu and group level permissions where you can kind of dictate, if your operators are privy to certain things inside of DataXchange, and then higher employment levels are granted access to other features inside of DataXchange. Next up, I'm going to be talking about data display management options. So as I mentioned earlier, we have a desktop configuration application that a lot of the implementation and setup processes are done through. So one of the tenets we like to kind of discuss when starting out with somebody that's either doing a trial or somebody that is new to the data exchange machine monitoring platforms is there's some things that you're going to kind of define in the beginning setup process, such as your users and user groups. And those can be split up by employment levels like managers, supervisors, and operators. Different plants where you can add or modify different physical locations inside of Data Exchange. So if you have 10 different licensing level or 10 different licenses, you have 5 machines that are on our bronze, you have 5 machines that are on silver. All those licenses that are on bronze can be at one plant. All those licenses that are on silver can be at a completely different plant at another location. There's no charge for having different plants. You can also add or remove your equipment and equipment groups through the management section inside of Data Exchange, as well as the security permissions that I brought up earlier. So who has access to what inside of Data Exchange. Now, in this desktop configuration app, we have a management section that, as I said, you can do all the defining of adding plants, adding equipment, defining your equipment statuses, uploading work orders via an Excel document. You can also do your part count and number tracking, users and user group define, as well as definitions, as well as shift and shift assignments. Now, if you're having some trouble with this, please reach out to our support channel at Scytec.com, where you can have one of the Scytec professionals kind of guide you through everything in terms of the setup process. Now, as I said, we're going to be discussing our data display management in this part of our webinar, as we have some new features coming to this section with our recent release that is, or upcoming release that is coming out next week. So inside of the data display management section, you also have a global view of company assigned, saved, and scheduled charts. You can set up where you will be taken after logging into your data display browser-based reporting application, which can include the equipment view or the equipment list, a specific RTV view of your choosing, or what's most common is just the data display launchpad with all your different charts and reports on them. You also have the ability in this management section to filter what charts and reports you want on your data display landing page, and you can group those by either their format or by their function. I'm going to be going over a demonstration of this stuff here at the end of this webinar. You can also add or modify a reporting group by their users or company-wide. You can also view your saved charts and define the users and groups that they get sent to, and you can also enable or disable your scheduled charts via the management section inside of Data Display. So one of the new things that you're going to be able to do inside of the management section for Data Display is filter which charts and reports are on your launchpad. As I said, you can kind of filter those out by their format or by their grouping, and you can either select all of them or select individual charts and reports that you want to see on your data display launchpad. So from here, I'm going to be doing a demonstration of the newest Data Exchange release. Now, I'd like to discuss how we kind of go about notifying the Data Exchange client base of an upcoming release. So there's multiple different ways. For this upcoming release, I have sent out an email as of, I think, Tuesday this week. Sometime next week, you're going to be getting a full-fledged email with a breakdown of everything. But earlier this week, I sent out a email with links to videos going over everything that is inside of this new release. And you can also go to our Scytec University website, which can be found at dxhelp.scytec.com. And if you look at that image on the left, there is an arrow pointing to the release notes section. If you go and you click on that, it's going to give you a breakdown of everything that is inside of our newest release, including tips and tutorials on how to kind of, make sure that you're learning everything. We also, on our main Scytec.com website, have a little notification banner that's a little green kind of rectangle at the top of the screen, notifying our users that we have a release that is going to be transpiring soon. So last month, I touched base on what's going to be inside of this release. This month, I'm going to give you a kind of better breakdown and show you what's actually in it. But to recap, What is coming in this release is there's going to be a lot of UI enhancements for Data Exchange. We have added new columns, layout, and grouping by function to the data display launchpad. We have a new equipment summation view that is going to be grouped with the other real-time views in data display. We have added your previously created reports, save reports, and scheduled reports now to data display, and have added saved exports and scheduled exports to data display. The ability to have data display in dark mode is also now an option. We have direct access to the Maszak protocol. So for those of you with Maszak machines, we are going to be able to pull a way richer set of data that is more comprehensive than before. And we, to kind of give you an idea of where the Data Exchange machine monitoring platform is going kind of from here on out, is we are going to be taking features that were historically found inside of that setup configuration application and are going to be moving them towards the data display browser-based reporting tool, kind of so that everything is more streamlined and easier to use. So from here, I'm going to be doing a demonstration, and the first thing that I'm going to be going over is our equipment summation view, which is a new real-time view that has been added to data display, showing the summation of equipment statuses, part counts, and custom variables for equipment and groups of equipment. I'm going to be playing a little video and starting and stopping it here. So this equipment summation view can be found with your other real-time views next to the equipment view. You do the same kind of filtering for your shifts, your plants, your machines, as well as the statuses that you're looking to get a summation of. And you go up there and you can create your view. This will give you a summation of your requested equipment and equipment statuses, as well as your custom variables like alarm counts and stuff like that. Next up, we have our launchpad filtering. So as I said, you can group by function, showing you things like charts, reports, and your Excel exports by their format, and then also then by function, showing you equipment statuses, utilization, downtime, part, and work orders. So we can also do some filtering by columns. So this is showing things sorted by their columns, by equipment status, or as well as utilization and downtime. And then here is where you can filter by specific charts. So I was looking for a equipment downtime summary, and I typed in downtime, and it showed me everything that I was looking for. So one of the other big releases or new features inside of this upcoming release for Data Exchange is the reporting section that was previously found in the desktop configuration application is now inside of data display. And you have the option to export your reports in multiple different formats. So the reporting section you can find there in the center of your data display launchpad. And if you go and you click on one, you can see the different exporting options that you have there. So we have, the most common one is a PDF. So as I mentioned as well, we also have direct access to the Maszak protocol now. And this gives Data Exchange end users with Maszak equipment a richer set of data can be now collected through the entire Maszak Smooth controller lineup, including the EZ, including the EZ, the G, the AI, and the X controllers that are available on the Maszak Smooth lineup. And to get a good idea of what all is included in this collected information, if you go to our supported technology page on our Data Exchange website, you can see the Maszak logo down there at the bottom. And if you click on that, that is going to give you a description as well as an itemization of all of the information that is collected and what it does via the direct access to this Maszak protocol. If you also go to dxhelp.scytec.com, you can see a full list of the constants and variables for the Maszak protocol. And as I said, this can be found on our Scytec.com or Scytec University website. Finally, we have the ability for dark mode. So dark mode, the ability to add your dark mode is now available in data display, and it is dependent on your active system setting. So I did this here through Windows 10. This might be a little bit different on Windows 11, but you can go and change to dark mode by going to your color settings, going from light to dark, and then DataXchange will follow suit inside of data display and switch that to dark mode. And you can also revert it back to light mode by doing the exact same process, just in reverse. So one of the things I don't have the time to go over for this upcoming release is our updated Microsoft Teams connector. So you can receive instant notifications in DataXchange via Microsoft Teams. We have a new connector for that. Please go to dxhelp.scytec.com for a tutorial on how to receive your instant notifications for machine statuses in Microsoft Teams. So that about does it. I'm going to go over quickly our upcoming webinars. As I said, we go over some sort of topic-based thing related to DataXchange on a monthly basis. At the end of April, we have Growing with Your Data, Evolving with Machine Monitoring, where we're going to be kind of talking about how you start off with DataXchange, and once you have it implemented, kind of going through some of the provisions of those other licensing levels that I discussed and the features inside them. And then in May, we are going to be having a machine monitoring startup guide for 2025. This is going to be geared towards those people that we meet at EastTech. Scytec is going to be at EastTech and booth 54, 52, and building 5. So if you're be out in that area, we hope to see you. We're going to be doing some live demonstrations at EastTech. And then as those two transpire, we're going to be adding more webinars to our website. So if you guys have any topics you would like to see covered, please reach out to our support, and we will be covering those in some of our later webinars. So that about covers it for today. Thank you all for joining us here today, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Thursday.